Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Creative Arts Talk Show. I'm your host, Terrence Manasseh, and today we have a hot show for you. I have a philanthropist, a poetic person, a very beautiful person, her mind, body, and soul. She's very generous, and she's going to be talking about all of the things that she has done to the community. Her name is Sinazo Peter. Welcome, Sinazo Peter. Come join me on the seat, the hot seat. Come in.
Hey,
how are you?
Good,
Nazo, we've heard a lot about you, and here you are, you're wearing all yellow, and it's nice, the winter is coming. But, as the viewers out there, they want to know a bit about you, so please tell us a bit about yourself, and who is Sinazo Peter?
So, yeah, my name is Sinazo Peter, and I am a community developer, a filmmaker, an activist, everything that has to do with bettering anyone's life. That's me.
Keep it nice and simple.
Also a poet.
Wow. Nice and short. That's how she is. Okay. So, we've heard about a lot of people, in the industry, especially the art industry, right? And this show is all about giving creative minds a state where they can, indulge their work, So for me, what you're doing is actually impressive, but please tell the viewers, what does actually Sinazo do? What does Sinazo do to empower the youth of South Africa?
I'm currently working for an organization, but I also run my own organization, which is Mkhulise Foundation.
Mkhulise Foundation.
Yes, meaning raise a child. So with Mkhulise Foundation, what we do, we give a platform to young people, which is boys and girls, a platform to talk freely and confidently about their sexual reproductive health, HIV and AIDS, poverty, just public health in general. Because if you notice in our communities, it's really difficult to attend the clinic as a luxury because attitude or who's there. I mean, if I go there, I'll see Mama next door, and Mama next door is gonna make it large in the community as if like as a discussing below in the community. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to protect young girls and boys, and reason why we say young boys and girls, we're trying to bridge the gap of we always say take a girl child to school, but what about the boy child? Because as Mkhulise, we believe that in order for us to have a better community, we need to empower both.
You've opened up a foundation called Mkhulise Foundation, but I want to understand the word puberty, because I've experienced it, we all experienced it while growing up. But then please tell me more. What are you educating, especially us African black children, about puberty in terms of our genders?
Well, when we talk about puberty in general, we talk about things that are growing in our body, as human beings. And those are very surprising for us and very shocking. Some of them, more especially for young women. I mean, being on periods for the first time, like blood coming out from you. But in nowadays, I mean, we're in 2019. These things are being taught at school. But one thing I think they fail in their curriculum is to take action towards them. What do you do if you are on periods? What is the best thing to do? What do you do if ukhulizins are in your vagina or kula aboya in what is it that you have to do? So I think we're trying to bridge that gap as well. That okay, these are the things that you can do as a young boy, as a girl. Because some boys, they still believe that men can also go on menstruation. They're like, so, okay, those are the questions that we come across from young boys. Like, okay, so when do boys go on menstruation? And you're like, no, you don't go on menstruation, but I have Uput Banbane that is going to explain that to you. Because also, as much as we can be educated and all, but we also need to understand that there's that gap between our culture and who we want to be, or who do we believe we want to be. Because you'd find with him now, I can have these answers, but he won't believe them more because I'm a female. But if you tend her with a male, it is much more better, and we are later. And then now we can then combine the two genders, which is men, boys, and girls, where we're gonna have this discussion, because now a boy is empowered already and the girl is empowered already. Then now we can make them understand their pathways.
Strong words. First of all, Nane, while I was growing up, let me just tell you a bit about myself. While I was growing up, I've seen that men, especially boys, let me just say boys, we kind of act in a certain way where we want to dominate, right? And that's not always the correct way to deal with things.
True.
So do you also give in these motivational speaks about, men should respect women, all of that? Because how our country is, especially with these attacks based on females and children, the abuse that we endured.
Well, in one of our objectives as Mkhulise Foundation, we have gender-based violence, which is saying you should know your stand as a person. It is not about gender. It is not about what. You should know when to protect yourself, and also you should understand other people's rights and your rights as a person. Because the other thing is that we don't report things because we do not know our rights, or sometimes we do not report what is happening in our lives. Maybe boyfriend you then think no, it's love. But we always confuse these things. So I think that's when Mkhulise gets into these young boys and girls and educating them about gender-based violence. It is not also about umfana overpowers a woman. Women can also overpower men. Because if we are gender-based violence, we always talk about men.
Of course.
Perpetrators, but also they are big victims. But then it's just that South Africa has always been on the side of women, and we also understand why is that. It's because women have been abused quite a lot, and they were not for a long time. Then same as men. I just feel like because men don't want to stand up and say this is how I feel. But also again, we understand why it's that. It's because if we are in police station and you say you have been raped or it's a laughing matter. Because exactly. So it's quite difficult, but yeah, at least as long as we do the education, we're getting closer.
As Mkhulise Foundation, you guys are doing amazing stuff. I would like to divulge into the Mkhulise Foundation, especially. What does your aim?
Mkhulise is to make sure that young boys and girls, they are free, that they feel free to talk about whatever they feel like talking about, and also they understand the policy making of public health. Because sometimes we complain, but we don't know what is in there. Sometimes you'd complain that no, a clinic, abantwana besikolo abahoywa ekuseni, but it says abantwana besikolo they are the first preference ekuseni, but after school for prevent bathathu after school during the day we can't take them because it's not their time. They're supposed to be at school. So sometimes we are ready to perform, but we don't know the reasons. So that's what we're trying to do, to educate them more about policy making and also the influence of policy making. It's influencer and Tina. If in your street there's a problem, abuse, and also if in terms of community development, as a young girl you feel like you're a leader and you see in your community, what is it that you can do to create a petition? Because those are the things that we can do ourselves. But government, who's government? So that's why we're trying to fill the gap. But you are government, you're part of government. When I
do something, do something,
make an action.
Sinazo, we want to get into the segment of the art, but before I go through that, I want to ask you, who are your biggest influence? The people that inspired you, motivated you, and also made you know, I want to be Sinazo Peter, and I want to do this.
Okay. My role model or my inspiration has always been my parents, which is my mother. And that's what I always even tell young girls and boys, guys, charity begins at home. I mean, even if it's not your parents, but someone in your community, someone in your street, someone in your, like your relatives, yeah, because I don't know stories Karabo on generations on TV. I don't know stories Kaban. I don't even really watch TV. I'm sure Karabo Kasekona generations. You know those kind of things. Yeah. So I don't know, but because the TV, you know, pillar what life, you know. So I have always seen Sinazo through my parents, you know. So I'd always, even the element of helping others, it comes from my mother, you know. But I help other people because I know from childhood, Mama has always been welcoming people coming into our home, and without even questioning them. Yeah, yeah, she was that kind of person, and now I think it has always been in me. But okay, even at school, if you don't have something to eat, we can share my lunch, you know. So
that's very deep. Sharing is caring.
Yeah,
sharing is caring. So, you know, I want to understand, what does Mkhulise Foundation, especially, you know, how does it contribute to the social and economic conflict that are happening in this country, I would say South Africa? How do you deal with those issues, especially political and social?
Well, I wouldn't say political. Yes, socially, yeah. For example, we have a drive that we're doing where we do a charity event in the Eastern Cape. Because we believe for you to be a better person, you come from somewhere. So that's where we come from the Eastern Cape, and we're in those positions of those young girls and boys in the Eastern Cape who go to school without shoes, who go to school without sanitary towels, who go to school with amapata, you know, because they don't have Vaseline or they don't have it on, you know. So we're trying to also close that gap. So yeah, so we have that drive where we collect toiletries and backpacks from people so that we can give back to 500 beneficiaries in the Eastern Cape, 5 schools, so 100 per school. So that's what we're trying to do in terms of socially, and politically I wouldn't really talk about that.
Let's leave that. Let's leave that. That's another segment. Your foundation, your Mkhulise Foundation. It's time that I get to Sinazo the artist. Can I go in there? Can I just dive in there?
That's right.
So guys, Sinazo's a poet, but I'd like you to please explain, where does your artistry come from?
When it comes to poetry, I think it comes from like just growing up in difficulties and not knowing who to talk to, but pen and paper is the only thing that you can talk to at the moment. So I started writing, I think I was about 11, and I started writing from when I was in the group called Soldiers of Informative Arts, which is I was doing radio drama, and to me that was new because I've always had amabali radio, but I didn't know what a creator pinjani. I'm like kubano creator as a sound and all that, but but it feels like you can visualize what is happening.
It's stage production.
Yeah, so that's what I was doing, and I was the youngest in the group, and I could tell great like stories in almost two sides, and then I started writing, and then I didn't recite, and then my mother passed away, and then after her passing, I just wrote a poem. I kept on writing, which it was one of my famous poems, Bambulele, and with that poem I traveled. With that poem I won awards. With that poem, like, I made it, you know, true in terms of vernacular poetry, because most poets, they were doing like English, you know, your Maya Angelou style, and here comes this little girl
from the Eastern Cape,
or from Philippi, and she comes and just boom,
Hustleness.
And not just this is cause, you know. Also myself, I would surprise myself with him. Did I really get that? But yeah, and then from there I started getting into poetry slam poetry competitions, and I won some. You know, I was a champion of open book festival. Your Vugani spoken word competition, your naked slam, you know, and yeah.
Wow, amazing. Please share your accomplishments. You've done so much, and I think you're still young, and you're still going to do more, and do more and more. You know, you'll achieve the greatness that you will potentially have, right? So, you know, poetry for me, I always think it's spoken word, you know. But then I've seen some other people, you know, they do it with music, you know, there's music. Please explain that benefactory for me, because I enjoy it when there's music inside of it.
Yeah, I think it also depends on your mood as a poet. Like today, if you know that, okay, I'm going to perform, I'm performing somewhere, and you're trying to think about the audience, what is the event about? And then you also like, maybe today my mood says music, you know, or my mood says I want to be raw today. There are days where you like, I just want to tell those people the truth, and that's it. So it also depends also what kind of music have you been listening to, and you feel like, but maybe I can flow my poetry over a beat that is maybe closer to this music, you know. I believe good song, there are days or there are weeks where you feel like, hey, Lengo Mama has been on repeat the whole week or the whole day, and then you feel inspired, so not all the time I would perform over music. I actually prefer performing like
with no music,
because to me that's poetry.
Ooh, that's amazing, you know. Because poetry is such an art form where we express ourselves, you know, it's like music, you know, you kind of take a pen and paper, you express yourself, but how does your writing process come about? How do you say, you know, today I'm writing about what I've experienced or whatever? Where does that drive to just pick a pen and paper?
I don't say today I'm going to write. It depends on the feeling, on the mood. If today I feel like waking up in the middle of the night and write because I feel like this is very emotional for me, or this is very exciting for me, or this makes me angry, whatever emotion that comes and I feel like writing, I write. And it depends on me also if I want to finish that poem or I want to develop it. And I also believe that a poem doesn't really come to an end. It develops every day. It develops anytime you want to continue, you know, with that poem or with that piece. So yeah, it's a process. It can take like a year. It can take months. It depends on you. It can take like minutes. You can finish it in like in a few minutes, like just writing, because it flows. It flows.
Depends on the mood, the feeling. Your poetry is very close to my heart, especially because I know a lot of poets around me. But for you as a poet, how do you see the opportunities out there, you know, for you to get on stage, for you to perform, you know, to deliver your message across the audience?
Well, I haven't been performing in a while, and not because I haven't been getting invites, but because I feel like I'm not in a good space. But how I have been figured out, or how I've been fishing opportunities, is through social media. I've been using social media for like since I was in high school, and I think it played a huge role when it comes to my art as well, because people, when I post a video, when I post a poem, I think, I'm not sure if it's still there on Facebook. There was a section where you can put on your notes on Facebook, and I think most poets, they use that platform a lot, and that's what I was using, and I could get like invites to events. I could get you know, messages, you know, that Sinazo, no, we would like you to come and perform. And I am actually a humble person, and I always talk about my work. I'm pagamanga to go to an event and perform for free, you know. So I think for me that had opened my eyes, and that had opened many doors, because I always believed when I grew up, I think one of my directors instilled something in my head, that Snazo, wherever you go and perform, you must know you're not just performing an audience, but you're performing for someone that might see a potential in you. So for me, it was not about money, but yes, I know we want to pay bills and all, and I'm only noticing that now that I'm older. But when I was young, I was just performing because
you just wanted to do it.
Yeah, and I was doing it for love, and I knew that there's someone sitting there that might see greater Sinazo, and that might come up with a better opportunity. Yeah, so yeah, and also I take advantage of internet.
Of course, we all do.
I search. So yeah.
So, you know, what memorable experience have you had from anyone, like in terms of, you know, the audience or anyone who actually made a response to you because of your work? You know, which one do you remember? Which one stands out?
I remember I was in Joburg, Constitutional Hill, and I was performing on one of the best poets book launch, which is Benedict. And then her MC her host was Mama Feridos. And
lovely woman.
Yeah, Mama Feridos was like, after my performance, I would like you to do another poem. And I did another poem, and she was like, guys, I don't know this young woman, but I believe she's gonna go far. And that time, I think I was about 18, 19, and today I'm 26, and I can testify and say she meant it, and it was true. I mean, you know, those kind of things. And like the responses you get from people on your social media, I think my social media, most times it's very overwhelming because people trust me, people believe I can mentor them, and sometimes, yes, I can do it, but sometimes I just feel like it's just too much. I also need to mentor myself.
Yes.
So now, for me to transfer this to someone else, sometimes I don't trust myself that if I'm gonna mold a better person to this person, because I mean, if you're gonna mentor someone, it's more like mothering someone. And yeah.
You know, Sinazo, you've talked about your artistry, you talked about your foundation, which for me is impeccable. Now I want to get to know Sinazo Peter, right?
Sure.
I want to get to know you. You know, yes, because you never know numbers after. But anyway, what other jobs have you done besides being in a foundation, starting your own foundation, being a poet? What other jobs have you done, or currently still doing, in terms of you pursuing your career?
Well, I started filmmaking, and I started it not because I wanted to focus on filmmaking, but I wanted it to help me in terms of my community development to be better, because we've been doing the same thing, and for me, I'm like, why inga change in South Africa, you know? So I thought to myself, maybe we need to find new ways on how to pass our messages. So when I started filmmaking, it was more of, I want to do community development better. I want to talk about things that people can see, people that can relate on them, you know. So I focused on documentaries. So that's what I've been doing. I've been doing as a freelancer, covering events, covering people's stories. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, and also facilitating on workshops. So I'm also a facilitator. So it just depends on the workshop what kind of topic we're talking about. If it's a topic that I know more about it, or I can research about it, then I can tackle that. And also some of the modeling, most of local designers, they like
we can see that.
and I'm really into fashion, so yeah, that's another thing that I've been doing. And and charity.
Charity, amazing. Describe me your fashion. How is your fashion? How do you describe your fashion? Since you've talked about, let me just get in there. How do you describe your fashion?
I don't know how to describe it, but it goes with my mood.
Okay. Simple.
I just
it goes with the mood. Just splash colors.
Colors. They need mood to me. If I wear all black, you must know.
Must not mess with you today.
Not a good day.
Okay, so what has been your most embarrassing moment in terms of your work, or in terms of what you have been doing? You know,
the most embarrassing.
The most embarrassing. You know, tell the viewers. They want to know. What's your most embarrassing moment?
Let me see. I didn't feel embarrassed, but I think, I don't know, but I was in some event, and I think I was in some event in Stellenbosch, and they tried to translate my poems, and I felt like they're translating them wrong, because Khumbulani is Xhosa story. So
of
for
course.
them, some, you know, snobs, those Xhosa or black who think, they know better, So they would read a poem, but what they're hearing, it's not what it's written there. So I'm like, guys, it's Xhosa story. And for them, they felt like I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not doing what's in there. So I'm like, guys, I don't know whether it's myself that should be embarrassed or it's the organizers of the event, because I don't know why they wanted to translate it to Xhosa. Because you can try by all means, but meaning will always go sideways.
Especially in Xhosa.
Yeah.
I think Xhosa is one of those languages where we need to respect it. If into sibhala ngeXhosa, maybe ngeXhosa, let's not translate it to Isilungu, because I feel that also in musicians, especially if you sing ingoma, and then you sing it in English, it becomes a problem.
True. And there was this moment where at Grahamstown Festival, maybe I can say I was embarrassed on that one. Artists, they like to explore, So we're in our house, we were staying in, and we were about to go out on our session, because we had hip-hop sessions in some club, and every night we'd go there for 8 days. So this other night, it was one of the Rastas' birthday, and so there's alcohol, there's bobo root, there's
what's the second one?
The bobo root.
What is bobo root?
Most Rastas, they like it. So that's where, like, Martin is possible to vundisa a fruit with I don't know what's in there, but it comes out as ginger beer, but it's beer.
Okay.
Actually makes you drunk.
Okay.
So there was quite a lot of things, and and all that. So we're like, okay, we're gonna have all nice things, alcohol, food, but not in Zam. But when you're drunk, you wanna try a thing. Hey, we tried in Zam, myself and my friend. Hey, we went out to an event, and on that night, I was like, no, guys, I'm not gonna perform. I was supposed to be on the door, and then from the door to collect money from people who are coming in, and then from the door I was supposed to perform. When they called my name, I just laughed. I was like, no.
I wonder why you were laughing. It's terrible, guys.
And I think it's because I mixed it with alcohol. Like, there was quite a lot happening in my body.
Exactly. Alcohol.
And I've never had all these things.
Your experience. People don't experiment.
And then the event was done, and then we were chilling with the manager. I told the manager his news. And I'm calling that was like, I will look at this. So the next day, like, okay, you're gonna have a session, the other day, not tomorrow. I'm not in the mood.
Today.
Like, so the manager is telling me that no, it's because yesterday you said da da da. I'm like, what?
Those after effects.
But I think it was an embarrassing one. I wouldn't like to see that manager again.
Well, for now you'll know that it was not your fault. It was entirely up to the Baba root.
Yeah. True. So
Okay. So now I've had a wonderful time with you, but I would like to know, what would you say to a person who wants to be Sinazo Peter, who wants to venture into your world, I would say, and who wants to become you, who wants to look up to you, what would you say to that person?
Be yourself. That's number one. Don't try to impress people. Impress yourself first, and then impress abanye. And also be disciplined.
Yes.
I think in most cases we are talented. It's just that we are not disciplined. That's why we lose a lot of opportunities. It's because we're not disciplined enough. People are always like, once they win one battle, they feel like basi champions. Bafika late to the events, bafika late to the meetings. Don't be that person. Askafika, you will never be there. Because people always think bafika asasukazufika, guys. Even abantu abadala, they're still pushing. Also Simpwetana, they're still pushing. Also Tandi, they're still pushing. So ayikho, guys, so you can't be a relaxed young person because we're susa yes, you can be but no not everyone is going to tolerate your nonsense.
Be humble.
Just be humble and don't try bubble roots and come at home.
you've heard it. Don't try to we mix it. Otherwise, consequences.
I'm gonna follow
Things about you, Sinazo, and as people would like to help, especially to the foundation that you have, But how do people reach you out there? Just please tell us, the viewers, how do people reach you out there in terms of supporting you, in terms of donating something, or going to the events that you are hosting?
Sure. So I'm available on Instagram as Sinazo with an I underscore Makyopo with an H. And also I'm also available on Mkhulise 0, which is the number, at gmail.com. And we also are available on Mkhulise Foundation on Instagram and Facebook, Mkhulise Foundation. So yeah.
Could you repeat that again for the viewers again?
Mkhulise 0 at gmail.com, and on Instagram and Facebook it's Mkhulise Foundation. And as Sinazo, personally, I'm also available on Instagram as Sinazo with an I underscore Makyopo with an H.
Okay.
So yeah.
And phone number also.
I don't know.
Time to wrap up the show, guys. We're speaking to a motivational speaker, a poet, and also one of the founders of Mkhulise Foundation, which is Sinazo Peter. Follow her on all social media where you get everything that she will explain to you, that she explained to us today. And also, guys, it was such a motive that you guys need to do something in order for us to become one. Do something in your community and you might be filled with love in your heart. But also follow us on social media at Khumbulani Entertainment on YouTube, and also follow me personally at Terrence Manaso on Instagram, Facebook, on all social media where you'll get this content everywhere. Thank you and God bless you guys.